Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are gathered to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, the Grantharaj, the king of all Vedic literatures. And our verse today is Canto 10, chapter 85, verse 45. So I'll try to share my screen here. And we can all see the verse together. There we are. Thank you, Hari Purush Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Kanda prasida nirapeksha viramya yushmat padharavinda nishananya grahana kupat nishkramya vishvasarana grana vlavya vritti santo yate ka utasarva shaktischarami. The speaker here is Bali Maharaj, and he's making his request to Krishna. He says, please be merciful to me so that I may get out of the blind well of family life, my false home, and find the true shelter of your lotus feet, which selfless sages always seek. Yeah. Then, either alone or in the company of great saints who are the friends of everyone and may wander freely, finding life's necessities at the feet of the universally charitable trees. Purport: Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states that in response to Bali's prayers, Sri Krishna invited him to choose some benediction. And in this verse, Bali submits his request. Bali begs to be relieved of the entanglement of material life so that he'll be free to leave home and wander in the wilderness with only the Lord's feet as his shelter. For his sustenance, Bali proposes he'll take help from the forest trees, at whose feet are fruits to eat and leaves to sleep on, for all to use as needed. And if the Lord is especially merciful to him, Bali hopes he will not have to wander alone, but will be allowed to travel in the company of the Lord Krishna's devotees. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamrupa Kadamahyam Dadati Savadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I'm just going to try to unshare here. I always get stuck on this. Manohar, can you just come here and just look? So that's the one that's selected, therefore it's sharing. To unshare, what do we need to do?
Good question. I think it might be on the main page.
So we... Okay.
It's sharing?
Yeah, it is. See where the green is around there?
Oh, I see. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure then.
All right.
Maybe it is.
Let's annotate.
Okay.
Yeah. Should have worked this out, but all right. Apologies to all of you.
Maybe click the share button again.
Yeah, that takes us back to that. It's not clear, right?
Yeah, it's not clear about this.
All right, Hare Krishna. So I apologize. The verse will remain there. It's a beautiful verse, so we will keep meditating on that verse as we continue with our class. This is Bali Maharaj's request. Of course, Krishna and Balaram are visiting him. Where does Bali Maharaj live? He lives in Sutala. And Sutala is all the way down by Patala and Atala and other such planetary systems. It's there at the bottom of the universe. Bali Maharaj was banished there after Vamanadev took the kingdom from him. That is rule of, not the kingdom, the universe. The rule of the universe was taken by Vamanadev. And Vamana reinstated Indra and the demigods to their administrative posts. Bali had become very powerful, receiving the blessings of his guru, Shukracharya, and was able to take the universe accordingly. And then after Vamana took everything back, he gave Bali a place to reside, and that is Sutala, where basically where the demons belong. So they do have a place in the universe, and it's in the lower part of the universe. It's also very opulent. Prabhupada refers to the subterranean heavenly planets. So yeah, there's a place for everyone in God's creation. What Bali had done was he had gone outside of the allotment that was there for the demons, and he had just taken over everything. So here, Krishna's come to visit him in Sutala. Bali is very happy. He sees his Lord. He's offered beautiful prayers, and now he's made his request to Krishna, and it's very beautiful. It's very instructive for all of us. He compares the material situation to a blind well, anda kupam. He says, I am here, residing in this blind well, my false home. And
He used to say that in the old days. If
Yeah.
somebody was married, was in the well.
right, yeah. So Adipurush Prabhu said that in previous times, devotees would refer to family life as the blind well. And Bali has said here, please be merciful to me so that I may get out of the blind well of family life. So this is a metaphor. It's found throughout the Bhagavatam. Bali Maharaj's own grandfather also referred to Griha Mandakupam. Griha, the home, Andakupam, blind well. So not just a well, but a blind well. In India, and I guess I'm sure other parts of the world as well, a well may have been dug and then covered over by grass, vegetation, so it's not seen. In the 9th canto, Yayati, he's hunting in the forest, and he hears a voice, and there's a girl, Devayani, in the well. She had been pushed in there, but it's a well in the forest. It was dug at some point to provide irrigation, and then over time it's forgotten, and it grows over, and travelers can fall into it. They're traveling through some forested area and suddenly find themselves falling into a well. It may have water or not. It might be a dry well. And then the problem with falling into a well, what's the problem?
How to get out?
You're stuck. Yeah, you can't get out. So it's hard to escape. The blind well, you may unconsciously fall into it, but then once you're in, it's deep, it's dark, you're cut off from light, you might yell out, nobody will hear you. And so this is the condition of the soul trapped in material attachment. And then family life is particularly entangling. We fall in love, and that is a beautiful sentiment, feeling. There are lots of emotions, the romance of falling in love, but then shortly thereafter, one may find oneself entangled with a lot more than one has bargained for. All kinds of responsibilities and commitments that one wasn't ready for. And so, of course, family life is elsewhere described as in the Bhagavatam as the ship that helps us to sail across the ocean of material existence. A good wife, a good husband can be a partner in spiritual life. So that's a consciously entered into marriage, purposeful commitment. There is samskara, there are blessings, there's purification. It's also a sacrifice. So with the commitments and vows that are being made, the union is sanctified and it is made as an offering to Vishnu. So that offering is pleasing. Bhagavad Gita 7:11, Krishna says, Kamosmi dharma virudo bhuteshu, kamosmi bharatarshava. I am that union between the sexes. So I am sex life, which is in accordance with the principles of dharma. So that's one thing. But the other is that's one side of family life. That's the ideal taught in the Bhagavatam and in the Vedic teachings. And there is an expectation in the Bhagavata culture that 99% of people will enter into such a union, into such a relationship, and support one another in a progressive spiritual, a regulated life, which is a spiritual life, which is offered to Krishna. And so that is the general expectation. Here, Bali Maharaj, he is also in such a relationship. He is in a sanctified relationship. He is also, he's the king of the demons, but he's also a person of Dharma. He's also a devotee. Krishna's come to visit him. Nonetheless, he's seen his situation as being the blind well. Even in the sanctified relationship, there's a lot of entanglement and engagement with the material energy. Working for a livelihood, maintaining a family, paying bills, mortgages in our time, putting children through school, protecting the family. These are all things that require one to engage with the material nature. It's different than sitting in an ashram, just serving the deity, cooking for the deity, chanting japa, reading Bhagavatam, teaching Bhagavatam to others. There is a material engagement and a material entanglement, and therefore the potential for distraction and forgetfulness of Krishna, it's very high. It's high. And so therefore, Bali Maharaj has seen his situation like that, even though we don't know anything really about his marriage from the Bhagavatam. But even if you were in a dharmic relationship, just the nature of the ashram is such that we engage and entangle in material affairs, even as we try to purify them, or even as we make the effort to purify those activities through association. So you say the house is dedicated to Krishna. You say all the food that is being brought into the home, we're offering to Krishna. That my family members, they are Krishna's devotees. So through that intention and declaration and attitude, we offer everything, and through that, it becomes purified, it becomes holy. As opposed to the temple, the deity, the prasadam of it is holy already. It is itself pure. In the other, we have to make the effort to transform it, a transmutation with our declaration and our intention. Then that transformation and purification is there, and that is uplifting and purifying. So it's harder work. And so Bali, he's therefore referring to his situation as the blind well, that he is entangled in. His situation in particular, he's the king of the demons. So it's not just the family, but he's there with family and responsibility. What's his job? He's the king. And the king's role is to protect citizens, to take a portion of their karma. 1/6 of the karma of the citizens is taken by the king. Why? Because he's taking taxes. And somebody asked recently, how much tax? So I looked it up, 6%. That's why it's 6% karma for the king. How much tax you take, that much karma the king is taking from his citizens as well. And then if there's any, so it's 6% of produce from the fields and other levies that the ruler may impose. So yeah, there's Bali's entanglement. He's asking to be extracted from this. Please be merciful that I may get out of the blind well of family life, my false home, and find the true shelter of your lotus feet. So this taking shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, it can be undertaken in any position. So even in the well, you can take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna's lotus feet, he says, that are sought after by great sages. Yeah, so we don't need to wait to get out of the well to take shelter. In the well, hold on to Krishna's lotus feet as your way to be purified and to be delivered. Krishna's lotus feet are glorified throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. In Markandeya's vision in the 11th canto, we see Krishna enjoying his own feet. So Markandeya has a vision of Baal Gopal, and he is sucking his toe. Markandeya is being tossed about in the ocean of, well, the universal flood devastation that covers the universe. Another metaphor for material existence. So he's been taught the great ocean of material existence, and he's been tossed about there, being bitten by different entities, being pulled under, surfacing again, gasping for air. And then at one moment he sees a golden island. On that golden island, he sees a banyan tree. On one of the leaves of that banyan tree, he sees Baal Gopal, and what is he doing? He's smiling and sucking his toe. And so devotees, the poet, there are poems about this. They ask, why are you sucking your toe? Krishna, why are you sucking your toe? And Krishna replies, my devotees are always saying that my feet are very sweet. So I thought I would try to see how sweet they are. So Krishna's enjoying his own feet, otherwise Lakshmi, she's always massaging the lotus feet of Mahavishnu. And in Vrindavan, Krishna's lotus feet, they decorate the surface of the land. When he enters into the forest of Vrindavan, he leaves the impressions of his lotus feet on the forest path. And the goddess Earth, she takes these impressions as her tilak. So we are decorating our bodies with Urdhva Pundara, with tilak, and it is the mark of Vishnu's lotus feet. Krishna's lotus foot is symbolized with this marking of tilak, Krishna's foot with a tulsi leaf there. When you see Radha Murli Dhara's lotus feet, you'll see tulsi leaves. And so we have marked our bodies with the tilak of Krishna's foot with tulsi. And when he takes steps in Vrindavan forest, Goddess Earth, she feels, oh, now I'm getting my tilak. I'm being stamped with the impressions of Krishna's lotus feet. And all the animals of Vrindavan, they have an agreement among them not to disturb those lotus feet. They must be preserved. They are a treasure to be adored. When the gopis were searching for Krishna when he left them during the rasa dance, they were wandering through the forest, asking different trees and creepers as to the whereabouts of the son of Maharaj Nanda. And at one moment, they found the impressions of his lotus feet, and they were able to follow that trail. And those lotus footprints are very distinct. They have symbols or markings that the devotees meditate upon. They have a lotus flower impression. And that lotus flower impression, it is a reminder to the devotees to rise above the pankaja. Pankaja is a name for the lotus. It means it's born in or birthed out of the mud. And yet it is so exalted. When we see and smell the lotus, we are reminded of some otherworldly state, a transcendent state. The beauty, the fragrance of the lotus is otherworldly. And so Krishna has that lotus impression on his lotus feet. Yes, you may be born in the mud, but you can achieve this transcendent state by taking shelter here at my lotus feet. There is a thunderbolt of Vajra, destroying ignorance and sin. Vajra, there's actually a beautiful poem. Vaja Vajram Kusha Pankajal Kalitam Braja Vadita Kucha Kuma Lalitam Vande Girivaradhara Parakamalam Kamala Kala. A beautiful poem by Govindadas, glorified the different symbols on Krishna's lotus feet. There is a fish, the fish impression, Matsya. So the fish is swimming across the ocean of birth and death. There is a conch shell. And when the conch shell is sounded, then it also creates auspiciousness and it calls the souls, wake up, sleeping souls, Jim Jago, wake up from the material condition. And there's chakra. There is a disc with Sudarshana. Sudarshana brings light into darkness, and he removes obstacles on the path of bhakti, and he also protects the bhaktas. When Durvasa Muni tried to harm Ambarish Maharaj, Sudarshan was there to give protection. When Gajendra was attacked by a crocodile, Sudarshan was sent by Narayana to protect his devotee Gajendra, who's holding a lotus to the sky, to the heavens, as he recalls prayers, glorified Vishnu, that he remembered from a previous life. And so this way. Krishna's lotus feet are very distinctive with these markings. Devotees they meditate on these lotus feet, they meditate on these markings, they find themselves purified. The gopis follow the footprints to find Krishna. Otherwise, these lotus feet are also compared to a boat that take the soul across the ocean of material existence. Sukadeva Goswami, he says very beautifully, in the 10th canto, after Brahma has stolen the boys and the calves and hidden them, and he offers prayers, then Sukadeva Goswami concludes his narration by saying, Samashrita ye padapallavaplavam mahatpadam punya yaso murare bhavam munira vatsa padam 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 yadvi padam natesham. Very beautiful. For one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Murari, the killer of the Mura demon, then the great expanse of the ocean of material existence shrinks. That great material existence where there is padam padam, yadvi padam, danger at every step, it shrinks to the size of a calf's hoofprint. And so very easily traversed. We could easily step over a calf's hoofprint. How? By taking shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of Krishna. And so these lotus feet, they are therefore sought after by sages. In fact, the easy way to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet is to find the sages who have taken shelter there. The lotus feet themselves, they may be elusive. Krishna's dancing, he's moving in Vrindavan. We try to catch his lotus feet. What does Brahma say in Brahma Samhita? He says, yogis, they have been drilling their respiration, practicing pranayama for millions of years, and they're not able to catch a glimpse of the lotus feet of Krishna. What's the Sanskrit? It's very beautiful. Looking in the chat to see if anyone remembers the Sanskrit. But okay, so yeah, Brahma says that the yogis, they are over many lifetimes practicing yoga, practicing pranayama. They can't. Yam Shama Sundarama Chintaguna Swarupam. They're not able to catch a glimpse of his lotus feet. So yeah, Bhagavatam is telling us, take shelter of the lotus feet, take shelter of the lotus feet. Where are they? We mark them on our foreheads. We have some descriptions that we try to meditate on. But Bali's also giving us a hint. He says, these feet are sought after by saints, by sadhus. And so if you want to find the lotus feet, go and find the sadhus. They are more accessible. They are more visible to us, the saints that walk among us. Therefore, Mahajanayena Gata Sapanta. Bali Maharaj himself is one of the Mahajanas. Balir, Vyasakir, Manu, and so on. So the feet may be elusive. Krishna's lotus feet may be elusive. The devotees are among us, the saints who walk among us. Prabhupada's lotus feet traversed New York City. Radhanath Maharaj's lotus feet, they come every once in a while to New York City. So many other sadhus, saints, they are visiting us, giving us their sangha. And so seek them out. And by taking shelter of their lotus feet, then we get the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. And Bali Maharaj is also an indicator that don't look to external appearances. Don't look to find the sadhu. Don't look at the externals. Don't look at somebody's birth or position as such. Bali Maharaj himself, born in the family of demons. Of course, he's the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Nonetheless, the family itself is a Daitya family. It is the family also of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha and others. Nonetheless, in that family, such great exalted souls as Prahlad Maharaj have appeared. Bali Maharaj has also appeared. And therefore, in the 11th canto, when Krishna is teaching Uddhava about bhakti, he says, you will get bhakti by finding devotees and taking shelter of devotees. And Uddhava says, who are these devotees? What are their qualities? And Krishna lists 28 qualities of the devotee, similar to our list in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 26 qualities, Kripalu, Akrita, Droha, Satyasara, Sama. They are magnanimous, they are humble, they are compassionate, they are prideless, and so on. But then Krishna, so he describes their qualities, he describes their activities, they're engaged in devotional service. And then he tells Uddhava, and my devotees can be found in all sectors, even in all species, my devotees have appeared. He says, among the birds, you'll find Jatayu and Garud. And among the demons, I have devotees. They are Bali and Prahlad. And he also mentions the father of Usha, Badasura. He says, I have devotees among the Vaishyas, I have devotees among the Sudras. He also mentions a butcher named Dharma. He says, he's also my devotee. He says that my devotees appear among the demigods, among the plants. He mentions the plants in Vrindavan, the trees and the creepers of Vrindavan. They are my devotees. He says, my devotees are among women, among men, all species. My devotees appear through the ages. And so the essential principle of the bhakta to recognize is that they love Krishna, that they are surrendered to Krishna, that they are dedicated to Krishna. So Bali is telling Krishna, let me be extracted from the blind well, where I forget you, or I'm not able to understand who I am, or to escape, to be extracted in the well. My false home, let me take true shelter at your lotus feet, always sought by sages, and then let me wander without attachment. He says, but ideally, I will wander with your devotees. I will wander in the company of your devotees. Okay, we will conclude there. There are more things to share, but we will conclude there to leave time for comments, reflections. Hari Purush Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, what a profound subject matter. The whole idea of the house and the home and the hearth and the family being some kind of a cozy, comfortable, safe place to be desired and to be, enjoyed and it sounds so good, and then the idea of somebody in that situation saying, get me out of here. I can see I'm being bound up and distracted and I'm like in a spider web and I'm entangled, and I need to go. And there's so many different stories. There's that movie, Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon. You've seen that where St. Francis just takes off all his clothes, renounces his father and says, I just want to be a beggar. Shukadev Goswami just running out as soon as he's born, he hits ground and runs. His father goes, "My son, forget that my son stuff. I'm not," he just keeps going, and all these different people that have taken that path of just going out, And my own experience, which was Krishna gave me, which shocked me. I had a really good job. I had an apartment, car, motorcycle, a little place up in Vermont, and a girlfriend. And I just started to feel like, wait a minute. I'm spending so much time like moving the car back and forth across the street, and all these different, my mother had taken out an insurance policy on me, and I was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I somehow or other just felt bound up, like that. And so I quit my job, gave away my motorcycle and my van, gave away a lot of my clothes, and then I had one little bag, and I walked across the George Washington Bridge. I thought, cast my fate to the wind. Let me see. I don't know where that came from. The idea of like, what am I really doing? What's really important? And I hitchhiked all the way across the country without speaking.
Wow. Motorbike.
I mean, just, madness and actually, but some longing for some kind of, and somehow I've just had $7 in my pocket, and I went all the way, and somehow or other Krishna provided all the way, and I came into spiritual life, but but what you explained so nicely is that although the material situation might be entangling and binding us up and distracting us from what's important and filling our whole life with these thoughts and these responsibilities, that actually in the Grihastha ashram, it can be done properly. You can swim in the water or you can drown in the water.
Right.
You can take fire and heat the house, cook with it, light the house, or burn the house down. So there's actually a possibility of doing this properly so that we don't hate people that are married,
Right.
or, needlessly become crazily fearful and, try to throw it all out the window. Real renunciation is to use whatever situation Krishna gives us in the devotional service of the Lord. I'm not a married person. I'm not a sannyasi. I'm a servant of the servant. And the main thing is, like Jesus told the disciples, don't worry about what you're going to wear. Don't have a bag of money with you. Don't worry about what you're going to eat. Don't worry about where you're going to sleep, but preach. And he sent them out. There's this one a Bible school in England, and you go there. I was listening to one of the great preachers, Christian preachers, and he said the way they do it in the school is you're there and you're studying scripture and you're doing your prayer life and everything. And at one point, the teacher will say, "You and you go out west." They give you $5, £5. And you can't even go back to your room. You have to go from your seat in the schoolroom out the door and go out and preach. They actually tell you, now go experience that this is not just philosophy in a book or something that happened a long time ago, that you could actually do that, Who knows, it's scary, but actually that's what Prabhupada told us, preach, preach. I'm sorry to talk so long. I don't know if it'll let me.
It was wonderful, profound insight based on personal experience. Thank you. Okay, so Krishna Gowda asks, what is the difference between Garuda and Jatayu? So, yeah, they're two different personalities. That's like, what's the difference between Adipurush Prabhu and Arjuna Prabhu? They're both Krishna's devotees, Prabhupada's disciples, and they are also distinct distinct individuals. So Jatayu, he appears in Ram Lila, and Garuda, he is the carrier of Vishnu. Thank you. Any other reflections? Jagannath said he would like to see Sutala, a lower planetary system, and offer his respects to Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, who reside there. Do all the Mahajans live there? No, they do not. So, yeah, not all the Mahajans live in the lower realms. They are two exemplary personalities who appeared in that demon family. Otherwise, the Mahajans are how many? 12 Mahajans. So yeah, they're living all across the
Are there any new members of that club?
so Haripurush Prabhu was asking if there are any new members of the Mahajan group. And yeah, we can make new lists from Chaitanya Charitamrita. You could come with it. We have the 6 Goswamis. So it's a different list of more recent Mahajanas. Min has a hand raised, so please, Min.
Thank you very much for the class. I just wanted to say that it relates to one of the classes you had given recently about the prayers to Krishna by all the devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam. And a thing that you shared today about Krishna's feet made me just feel really happy, and just imagining this beautiful, his footprints, and everybody just feeling so happy to see it, and they don't want to step on it, and all the markings on Krishna's feet. Just thought about meditating on that in my prayers as glorification. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Min. Yeah, those descriptions are very beautiful. And we have lots of instruction. Take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, meditate on Krishna's lotus feet. But then other places we actually get more detail around the symbols of those lotus feet, and we can bring those into our meditation as well and take shelter. Those different symbols at different times we might be feeling we need the lotus to help us feel uplifted despite our being in the mud, or we might need the guidance of Sudarshan to bring light when we're confused. So we can meditate on those symbols as well as part of our taking shelter. And yeah, thank you for linking Bali's request with earlier discussions we had about how devotees pray. So they'll glorify Krishna, and then they'll make a request, and the request will always be for service. So generally it'll be something like this: I'm conditioned in the material nature. Please help me to remember you. Please help me to surrender to you. Please help me to be always engaged in your service. Thank you for that connection.
Is there an intermediate prayer? Like, Krishna, help me deal with this material situation, please, so I can chant peacefully.
So that may be our prayer, yeah, depending on the need. If there's an immediate distraction or concern, we might ask Krishna specifically for help with that situation. Otherwise, in the Bhagavatam, they tend to be like pretty much right to the essence, where they're saying, yeah, they really go to the cure. Please, Krishna, help me always remember you. Having forgotten you, I'm experiencing different struggles and other situations, but help me always remember you. Narad Muni's prayer is beautiful. When he visits Krishna's palaces, then Krishna says, make a request of me. And Narada says, let me travel throughout the universe and sing your glories everywhere I go. Yeah, and that's what he does. He's a preacher. He has his Veena with him, and he's singing Krishna's glory. He's, in the Bhagavatam, actually, he's like the main preacher. And if you think about it, Vyasa's his disciple. So you have him right there in the first canto, instructing Vyas, and then he instructs Prahlad and Prachinabarhi and Dhruva, and yeah, so many others. Like, he is the main preacher. And so his prayer, when Krishna says, take a blessing from me, is let me spread your glories, let me sing your glories as I travel throughout the universes. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you. So if we go to a devotee doctor, he'll just tell us, next life, Prabhuji. Just take another birth.
Well, the devotee doctor will be very concerned to do seva for the body of the devotee. Aradhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat panataram devi tadyanam samachanam. Worship of Vishnu is most exalted, says Shiva. Even more exalted is the worship of Krishna's devotees. So the devotee doctor will see the opportunity to serve a Vaishnava and take care of that devotee and to try to preserve the life of the Vaishnava, because the Vaishnava is so precious and so rare in this world. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlama.
Thank you for such a bona fide answer. Thank you.
So we're on gallery view so that Radha Mulinara can see you all as we open the curtain.
Is it blurred in the background, maybe?
Yeah, it's a little blurry, but I don't think we can fix this now. Let's just be seen by the Lord. Let's concentrate on being seen.
Okay.
You can look at Jamuna Jaya also.
Vedam Bhagavatam I only wish to have my consciousness purified. That thinking what it sees, perfection fulfills all God. He opens my heart to God, and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, perfect and perfect. Ecstatic praise, my weakness destroyed. Praise the scripture in the character. Our Lord God, the ocean is mercy. Furthermore, what blesses my kings. All lofty gods are what was. Given us a shade of your lotus feet, your favors for along the three worlds. We take shelter in your lotus feet. Shiva Prabhupada, Ki Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri Shri Radha Muralidhar, Shri Guru Chandra. Welcome to the Afterglow. Would anyone like to speak? We have cats, we have babies, we have horses. Hari Charan is here. Samadharshana. The temple room is in ecstasy. Okay, Sri Prahlad Prabhu, I have to mute you. Hare Krishna, wonderful class. Okay, Jamuna Jai, you are muted, please.
More attention to where I'm driving.
She's driving, laughing, glorifying Krishna.
Not in who always seems to be able to do everything while he's driving. I don't drive as often as he does.
Drive safely, Jamuna Jai. Drive safely.
The thing that I was really sort of left reflecting on is that, Sri Prahlad pointed out beautifully that, there's a place for everyone. Like there's a place for the demon. That's where Ali Raz is. And there's a place for everyone in Krishna's service. It doesn't matter where you start and then, or what you're born into. And then also with your ashram. It doesn't matter, both of those things, being a demon and being married, could both be detriments to your spiritual life, or they could not be. And I felt that, both of those things are true. It's that old analogy of the knife. The knife could either save your life in the hands of a talented surgeon or kill you in the hands of a mugger. So I found that both Bali, was a demon, but yet look, as was, Prahlad technically is a demon. And then also married life could either be detrimental or a great help. So I just was hearing those corollaries through the class. Hare Krishna, hands on wheel.
Thank you, Jamuna Jai. Yeah, there is a place for everyone in devotional service. No matter what ashram or situation or geographical location, everyone can serve Krishna according to their heart's desire. Okay, would anyone else like to speak? Hari Charan?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, actually, I really liked the points that Sri Prahlad Prabhu shared, and also I really liked Adipurusha Prabhu sharing his journey and comparing the Grostha life is not that bad. So giving hope to us, you don't need to get out of this, but you can utilize whatever you have in the Krishna service. Yeah, thank you so much. I really like it. And if anybody knows, the Sri Prahlad Prabhu mentioned Govinda's prayers, I couldn't find it. Anybody can share it. Thank you.
Govinda Madhipurusham?
No, not Govind, Sri Prahlad Prabhu mentioned glorifying lotus feet, he was singing a song about marks on the lotus feet of the Lord. That was written by Govindas. Yeah.
We'll ask him next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mathuranath Prabhu, nice seeing you. He's cooking for Krishna. Okay. All right.
And beautiful to see the small boy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking our reflections, spending time with us. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Anand
that's the highlight of my day, spending time with the Vaishnavas. All right, Shrimad Bhagavatam, the King of Knowledge, Ki Jai. Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada, Ki Jai.
Jai.
Sri Prahlad Prabhu, Ki Jai. Everybody on this call, Ki Jai. Everybody on YouTube, Ki Jai. Chimuna Jaya, keep your hands on the wheel. This is not your body. This is Krishna's body.
She's in ecstasy, I know.
Yeah, always. Wow. Okay, Hare Krishna. Happy Saturday.